In today's equity index futures markets, let's take a look at the S&P 500 future as the S&P 500 future is realizing heavy selling pressure today, down about 5.5%. We're seeing heavy selling pressure across the board for all the major index futures. Certainly when you look at the Dow and the Russell from a percentage standpoint, down more than the S&P 500 futures. And the S&P 500 future currently right around a 3,010 level. And when you look at the price action, though, I do want to point out one thing, that 3010, we were in this price level on June 1st. So even though today's selling pressure is quite substantial, we're still within the range of the June levels for the S&P 500 futures. So it's something definitely to keep in mind, even with today's price action. And when you look at the trends, the drivers that are in place today, I think first and foremost, the Fed yesterday, certainly the press conference wasn't overly well received. The idea that they're going to have to continue these steps into at least maybe a year, if not 2 years out. I think the extension of the timeline was a detriment to the equity markets, and that's why we did see continued selling pressure after yesterday's late day sell-off. Couple that with the COVID-19 situation unfolding, we're seeing a pickup in cases now, again, with the reopening of the economic activity here in the United States. I think that's affecting the psychology in the market, in possibly the fundamentals as well. Third thing, the rotation, the risk-adverse rotation continues to unfold. And we did see that picking up steam last couple of days, and certainly today when you look at the bond market rallying substantially, gold having a nice day today as well, pushing back up really just shy of the highs that it realized just a month ago. So that rotation continuing. And when you look at the trends in place, I think first and foremost, you're looking at a breach of the most recent uptrend. When you're coming off of the mid-May lows, that uptrend has been breached. Now, from the longer term perspective, we still have a decent uptrend in place, but short term, that trend from mid-May has been breached with this sell-off today. However, looking at the 200-day moving average, we're currently holding right at that 200-day moving average for the June contract, right around 3,010. And the other thing I want to point out is we are now starting to see rolling of positions into September as we continue to see that initiation picking up pace today, and we'll probably, again, maintain that rolling factor into next week. So something to keep in mind is we're now rolling from the June contract to the September contract in the S&P 500 futures.